Hey everybody, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Orro Reports. Now, so far, this year has been going from pretty good to slow. Like I said, I'm still infected by the COVID welder's doom spell, and we're already at the 6th month of 2025. Which means the year is halfway over, and I have until the end of December till the doom spell takes its impact and I'll be dead and forgotten. Also, after performing in Promised Land with Musical Theater Village a couple months ago, I decided to take a break from performing for a while due to an upcoming European vacation with my family this late summer. By the way, because of Promised Land, for many months this year, I've been planning to blog an Egyptian-themed movie, and so far, I know I already blogged The Prince of Egypt 10 years ago, and I took a dare to help movie fan Bonnie, Jonathan, and Alpha compare it to the Ten Commandments last year. Not to mention the fact that I blogged The Lost Pyramid from Sophia the First the very same year. But anyway, I've chosen an Egyptian-themed film that came all the way from Spain a couple years ago. But is it any good in my opinion? Well, let's take a look and find out. Released in Spain on February 24th, 2023, the movie is Mummies. Now, on for the plot of the movie. The film follows three mummies who live in an underground secret city hidden in ancient Egypt. The trio includes a princess, a former charioteer, and his younger brother, along with their pet baby crocodile. Through a series of unfortunate events, the mummies embark on a journey and end up in present-day London in search of an old wedding ring belonging to an ancient Egyptian royal family that was stolen from a tomb by the ambitious archaeologist Lord Carnaby, whose goal is to kidnap Princess Nefer for an exhibition after her irresistible singing goes viral. The mummies end up in several hilarious situations as they try to understand and adapt to 21st century London in an obvious culture clash. So, what did I think of the movie? Well, in my personal opinion, this movie was both fun, entertaining, and pretty interesting. And to further explain what I mean, let's head over to Mustang Notes. Now, there's not much trivia I can find regarding this movie other than the fact that it was the directorial debut of Juan Jesus Garcia Galocha, and the screenplay was written by Javier Lopez Pereira and Jordi Gazal, the latter who wrote the story. Plus, the film was scheduled to be released in 2021 under the name Mummies as part of a partnership between Actress Media Cine and Warner Brothers España. However, it was delayed to 2023 after 2 years of extended production and was changed to its current name. Now, before I continue, I need to mention that I first got to watch this on Kim Cartoon a couple years ago before it was terminated. And in my opinion, the animation for this film is pretty good, but not as good compared to a few films like Nimona or other animated films that were released in 2023. However, I did find it pretty fascinating that the film includes an ancient city inhabited by living mummies hidden underneath an Egyptian tomb. Also, I think the Spanish animators did pretty good with depicting not only Egypt, but also the city of London, which I've been to back in summer 2010, and it's one of 3 European destinations that I'll be traveling to later this summer. Also, I like that during the opening credits, the film features some decent 2D animation while following a scarab underground. As for the story, well, it's okay. It's a bit cliched at times, but still a pretty adventurous and entertaining film. Plus, there are a couple parts that stick out in my opinion. For example, there's a phoenix created by Hathor, the goddess of love, who chooses whom the Egyptian princess's suitor will be. By the way, here's a little fun fact. The gateway used to summon the phoenix is based on the design and activation special effect of the gateway in the 1994 film Stargate. Also, I like that the film features the Disney Broadway show Aida, which, to this day, still has not been made into a movie musical yet. Speaking of which, I like the 3 musical numbers that are sung throughout the movie, including Walk Like an Egyptian. Also to note, there's a plot where every time a bright light flashes or shines on a mummy, it reveals their true identity. Similar to how the moonlight reveals the undead pirates in the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And that's all I got for Mustang notes. So let's move on to the characters and their voice actors. The main character, Tut, is voiced by Joe Thomas, who's best known from the In-Betweeners. Now, Tut is a charioteer who is also the most popular man in the city of the afterlife. In my eyes, Tut is a very kind-hearted and loving person to everybody around him. Plus, while he does have an athletic personality, at the same time, he does have some low self-esteem due to an accident he had during one of his tournaments in which the wheels on his chariot broke, causing him to fall. Next is Princess Nephir, voiced by Eleanor Tomlinson, whom has been in Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland and Jack the Giant Slayer. Like most animated princesses, Nephir is one who dreams of singing, and she is chosen to marry Tut, courtesy of Hathor's phoenix. In my opinion, Nephir is a pretty headstrong character, and I think her singing is really amazing. However, at the same time, it does lead her to danger when her talent goes viral and it attracts the attention of the villain Lord Carnaby. More about him later. We also have Tut's little brother, Sekhem, voiced by Santiago Winder. Sekhem is a young, adventurous, and loyal character, and I find him to be very skilled with a boomerang. Speaking of which, Sekhem is kind of responsible for his brother being chosen to be Nephir's suitor, due to him throwing his boomerang at the phoenix. But despite that little mishap, I like the part where he encourages Tut to embrace his courage and help Nephir when their city is under attack. Also to note, I think his pet crocodile, named Croc, is an adorable and funny character. Plus, he's described as visually identical to baby TikTok from the Pirate Fairy. Finally, we come to the film's villain, Lord Sylvester Carnaby, voiced by Hugh Bonneville, whom was in Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the James Bond movie Tomorrow Never Dies, the Paddington films, the Downton Abbey films, Jingle Jangle, A Christmas Journey, and The Amazing Maurice. Now, this guy is an extremely obsessed and avaricious businessman who has no respect for the dead, as all he cares about is earning income for himself. He can also care less about his own mother, who constantly calls him on his phone throughout the film. To reinforce his evil deeds, he goes as far as to capture Nephir for his own achievements by exposing her mummy form, and he even tries to kill her father, the pharaoh, nearing the end. And now for my final words. Overall, Mummies is not one of the best animated films of 2023, but it's still very entertaining and adventurous, and I like that it involves mummies who learn to adapt to the modern living world. The animation is pretty good, and Juan Jesus Garcia Galoca did a pretty decent job for his directorial debut. Plus, Tut and Nafir are decent and memorable main characters, and even though they didn't like each other at first, I think they make a nice couple. And Sekhem makes a smart, funny, and loyal sidekick character, and the villain Lord Carnaby is your typical greedy businessman. Also to note, since this movie is mostly set in London, it's making me excited to visit there again this late September. As for my rating, I'll give it an 83% out of 100. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me next time because I have a very special blog for my musical theater village friends. Mustang Power.